1 verses 6 down through verse 9. Heaven help me preach today.
Amen. Yes, Lord.
Joshua chapter 1 verse 6 through 9. When you have it, say amen.
Amen.
Thank you for standing for the reading of the word.
Amen.
Be strong and courageous, for you shall give this people possession of the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous. Be careful to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so that you may have success wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not tremble or be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Amen. I want to label the message this morning, get a good grip. Get a good grip. Last week we learned the difference between change and transition.
That's right.
We said last week that change is what happened, but transition is how you learn to deal with what happened. We also learned that transition takes place in stages, that it begins with an ending, ends with a beginning, and in between there's a messy middle. We studied Joshua chapter 1 verse 2 to help us locate exactly where we were on our transition journey. Let's see how well you remember. Last week we said, for some of us, it's time for us to just say goodbye. We said that it's time to say goodbye to temporary people and to tight places. That Moses was good and Moab was good, but we'd outgrown it, and so it was time for us to move on. We also said last week for some of us, it's time for us to get ready. That yes, we're in Moab and we're headed to Canaan, but we got to cross through Jordan. So we got to prepare ourselves for where we're headed. Then we said for some of us, it's time to go get it. And even though we've had to wait for it, God is finally giving us a green light, and we've decided to go after everything that God has promised us. But can I be honest this morning? Making the decision to go on a transition journey is exciting until you got to walk it out.
That's right.
It's exciting as long as we're planning. You know, when you're moving and it sounds good until it's time to start packing. It was good. It was good. You loved her. You loved her. She was fine and she kissed you real good, and y'all were happy until y'all had to learn to live together.
What you say?
Amen. Why y'all looking at me like I ain't telling the truth?
All right.
Transition is exciting until it's time to walk into it, and then it gets scary. Matter of fact, if we were to read today's text, verse 9 says that while Joshua is receiving his marching orders from God, God finds it necessary to tell Joshua, don't you tremble and don't you be dismayed. See, that word tremble means to suddenly become violently terrified. It means to go into a panic. And then you get to this word dismayed, and it means to be broken, to be shattered. It means to be discouraged. God says to Joshua, you're getting ready to go into the new territory. You're getting ready to go into your promised land. But I need to tell you before you go, don't you have no panic attack. He says, before you go into your next level, don't you get discouraged, because when you get there, there's going to be some things there that's going to cause you to want to have a panic attack. There are some things in your promised land that's going to make you want to be discouraged. So before you even get started, God says, I don't want you to tremble. I don't want you to be dismayed. I want you to be ready for what you're getting ready to walk into.
Yes, Lord.
It would be easier to accept that God says don't tremble and don't be dismayed if Joshua was a timid person. If Joshua was like Timothy or Gideon was hiding in a wine press. God was telling him he was a mighty man of valor, and Gideon was saying, I'm the least of my family. If he was like Gideon, maybe we could accept God saying don't be scared, but we're talking about Joshua, and Joshua is a CIA agent. When they needed central intelligence from the promised land, Joshua was one of the 12 that went and spied out the land. He wasn't a coward. He wasn't scared. He was a soldier. He was the general of the army that when Moses went up into the mountain to pray, he went down into the valley to fight. Joshua is no punk, but God says to Joshua, I don't want you to tremble. I don't want you to be dismayed. In fact, he says 3 times in 4 verses, I need you to be strong. I need you to be courageous. That's verse number 6. Verse number 7, only be strong and be very courageous. Verse number 9, he says, be strong and be courageous. I don't need you to get there and break down and be depressed. I need you, because you don't know what's on the other side of joy. You don't know what's going to happen when they give you that job. You don't know what's going to happen when you make the move into the new house. So God says, before you even fill out the paperwork, I need you to be strong. And that's God's word to somebody sitting up in Greater Beulah this morning. You don't know what the next season of your life is going to look like, but God is sending his word to you early. Don't you cower down. Don't you pop out. You be strong. You be courageous. Because you don't know what's in front of you. You don't know what's going to happen in March. You don't know what's going to happen in June and July. You don't know what's going to be in December. But God is telling you in the 2nd month of the year, regardless of what comes, be strong. But you can't shout on that because you don't know what be strong means.
Amen. Tell us.
I will, thank you. That word, be strong, literally means to get a good grip. And you don't just get a grip on it, you squeeze it to make sure you don't let it go. Be strong says that I may not be able to fight the fight, but what I am going to do is hold on through the fight. I wish somebody would help me. I may not be able to fight this battle, but one thing they ain't going to stop me from doing is holding on through the battle. The storm may rise, but I'm going to hold on through the battle. The wind may blow, but I'm going to hold on through the battle. The waves may toss me to and fro, but I'm going to hold on. Let's be strong. But then he says, be courageous. I like this word courageous. You know why? Because it means that you got so much boldness that your enemy is standing in your face and he's bigger than you and he's stronger than you. Because you got a good grip, you won't even flinch. You stand in your enemy's face and you set your face like a flint and you say, he didn't bring me this far. He didn't bring me this far to leave me. And if all I can do is hold on, he's going to give me the victory. Is there anybody in this room other than the preacher got that feeling? That I don't care what the devil throws my way. I don't care what the devil tries to do. No weapon that's formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me. God says, I want you to be strong. And I want you to be courageous in me. I want you to get a good grip. And I don't want you to be moved by what you see. I don't want you to let that situation cause your faith to waver. I want you to have such a strong faith in God that you say, after doing all, to stand. So here's the question. Lord, I took too long in this introduction. Here's the question. How do I be strong and courageous? How do I get to all that God has promised me? That's what these verses are all about. To be strong and courageous. Here's the sermon in a sentence. If you get this one sentence, you got the whole sermon. If you're going to get a good grip, you got to have it on the Word of God. Yeah, the light bill is due, but I'm going to hold on to the Word of God. Yes, the doctor gave me some bad news, but I'm going to hold on to the Word of God. Yes, the loan officer didn't give me the money, but I'm going to hold on to the Word of God. Yes, there's trouble in my relationship, but I'm going to hold on to the Word of God. It doesn't matter what comes, it doesn't matter what goes, heaven and earth shall pass away, but the Word of our God is going to stand forever. So it doesn't matter what's going on in my life, I'm going to hold on. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest friend, but I'm wholly leaning on Jesus' name, on Christ the solid rock. I need somebody in this room that's made up in your mind. I may not get to the rest of this, but I need somebody that's made up in your mind that if God said it, that settles it. I believe the report of the Lord. Oh, sit down, please.
Thank you, Lord.
Sit down. I need somebody in this room other than the preacher that knows God has said some stuff about me. God done spoke a word over my life, and I'm going to get a good grip on his word. Let me at least try to give you at least one of the three points. The first, you get a good grip on the word.
That's right.
When you profess the promises. That word profess means that you say it with confidence. See, verse 8, it opens by saying, this book of the law. See, Moses has been keeping a written record of the things that God has said to him and the things that God has done for him over the last 40 years. Moses has been writing it down. In fact, Deuteronomy 31 says that he kept writing until God said he was finished. But you need Exodus chapter 17, verse 14 to get the shot on this. Exodus chapter 17, verse 14 says that the Lord said to Moses to write this down in a book and read it to Joshua. Y'all ain't listening to me. Exodus 17, verse 14 says that the whole reason why Moses wrote the book was so that Joshua could read it. Y'all ain't feeling this. I said that the book wouldn't have been written if Joshua wasn't there. The book was written because Joshua was going to come up on a situation where he would be discouraged. He was going to come up on a situation where he was going to be broken down, and he was going to need something to hold on to when the storm of life was raging. So God said, write the book so Joshua can read it. Now I need you to take Joshua's name out of there and put your name in there. The whole reason why God wrote the book is because he knew that you was going to be going through something and you was going to need Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I ain't got to fear no evil because God is with me. He knew you were going to have trouble with some people on your job. So he wrote Psalm 37, fret not thyself because of evildoers, and neither be thou envious of the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the chaff and wither away like the green. He knew you were coming, and he knew that you were going to be by yourself, but he sent you Joshua chapter 1. I will never leave you, and I'm not going to forsake you. He sent you Matthew 28, even unto the end of the age, I'm going to be with you. He knew you were coming. And so he left his word. Psalm 107. Psalm 107 said he sent his word and he healed them and delivered them from all of their distress. If you need healing in your body, he left the book for you. Because in that book he said, my name is Jehovah Rapha. I'm the God that heals you. If you need somebody to pay your bills, he left the book that said, I'm Jehovah Jireh. I'm the God who provides. If you're stressed out today, he left the book that said, I'm Jehovah Shalom. He left the book for you. And so what you got to learn how to do is stop saying what your problem is and start saying what he said about your problem. I know you're hurting, and I know there's pain in your body, but the book said that he was wounded for our transgressions and he was bruised for our iniquity, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes I'm trying to leave this point alone, but I need to tell somebody that power of life and death is in your tongue. You've been confessing the problem. You've been talking about how bad you're hurting and how little money you have, but no, my God said, supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. God is going to make all grace abound toward me, that I always have all sufficiency unto every good work. I know what it looks like, but it ain't what it looks like. My God is not a man that he should ever lie, and he's not the son of man. Slow down, Maurice. Slow down. I'm trying to get somebody in this room to be convinced that God has a good word about you, that his thoughts towards you are good and not of evil, thoughts to give you a future and a hope and an expected end. Anybody in this room been going through a hard time? Been having a hard time, seem like it won't never just turn around for you. I got a scripture for you, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. If you love God, if you're called according to his purpose, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It got to work out for your good. I want you to know that the light afflictions, 2 Corinthians chapter number 4, will but for a moment and work for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. All you got to do is get the word. Sit down. I gotta stop, y'all. I'll finish it next week. I just need somebody in this room that's convinced about that word that came from God. How many in this room know that God is not a man that he should ever lie? And he's not the son of man that he should ever have to repent. If the Lord spoke it, I ain't trying to get there this fast, but if the Lord spoke it, he'll make it good. If the Lord said it, he'll bring it to pass. I need somebody in Greater Beulah today that believes the report of the Lord. I know what the doctor said, but I heard the Lord say that I'll lay my hands on you and heal you of all your disease. Anybody tried it? I said, anybody tried it? No, he'll keep his word because he watches over his word just to perform it. How many know that the grass withers and the flower fades, but the word of our God shall stand forever? Anybody standing on the word? For in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. The world was made by him. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But to as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Anybody tried it? I said, anybody tried it? I said, anybody tried it? Sit down, I'm done. I'll try to preach some more next week. I promise you I'll try to preach a little more next week. But my soul done got happy because I've tried his word. I need somebody on this side that'll testify that I tried his word and his word worked for me. I had faith in his word and he came through. Is there anybody here know that if you trust him and never doubt, he'll show up and he'll show out? They won't help me over there. How about y'all over here? Has anybody called on the Lord? I said, anybody called in the midnight hour? Anybody tried it? Anybody know he will? Won't he walk with you? Won't he talk with you? Won't he hold your hand? Won't he guide your feet? Won't he dry your eyes? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yes! I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Everybody stand. I'll preach some more next week. I'll preach some more next week. I'll preach some more next week. But all of the promises of God in Christ Jesus. Yes. Amen. And it's mine. Anybody got that testimony? All of his promises. Oh man. Everybody, every eye closed. Father, we thank you for your word.